Okay, we're on turn 11. Just checking to make sure I unpacked everything. Doesn't look like anything's improved here. Yeah, they've been fired at now. So, well, they're not suppressed, though they're still ready. But the number sign's indicating that they suffered combat friction, so they won't be able to move very quickly now. He's still buttoned. Okay, well, let's stick around and pull back. Okay, enemies have moved. We lost sight of these guys over here. Yeah, that's a bit troubling. Yeah, okay, that's a bit troubling. Not sure where they've gone. Yeah. Okay, he's unloaded back there. That's actually good to know. So they're gonna move up through the orchard, which is what I expected them to do in the first place. I wasn't really expecting them to advance so quickly past the orchard. Really did not expect them to do that. So, anyway, let's watch the replay. Okay, well, that was a lot of stuff. Let's see. I need to watch that again so I can get it in the log. Actually, it's all on the screen, so I won't need to enable the logging. Okay, let's see what happened. Actually, is that all on the screen? It might not be. It might not actually be all on the screen. Let's disable the log anyway. If I remember how to do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's just watch that again. I'm just going to zoom out a bit because we got attacked from something back here. Let's see if I can figure it out. From about here, looks like. I made to watch it again. Nope, it's not. So, okay, lots of casualties being taken, causing casualties as well. Yeah, my casualties are escalating very rapidly, though. Well, this is pretty much what I expect. That's why I said this can't end well. So, as we're seeing, yeah, my shits are being beaten to pulp here. But so it is, though. These Belgian rifles have taken 5 casualties. Ow. Yeah, that's caused them to pull back. Fortunately, we cannot see. Nobody could see who was firing. So there must be another tank around. The cheap, the cheap, the cheap Allied armor. I'm It's like I'm trying to see how I can avoid taking tanks, but I just don't see how infantry can just deal with the massive amount of armor that will show up when it's very troubling. Okay, well that's some for another time. So one of these is in really bad shape. 4 casualties. Ow. Okay. So let's examine everybody. Okay, wait. Formation leaders first. Leaders seem to be in good shape. So let's check everybody else. We'll look around at the same time. He's not gonna be able to see anything from there. Well, okay, and we can see those guys now. I'm surprised they didn't take any shots at me. Because considering how many times I fired. Ready. No suppression. No suppression, but he took a casualty. Because he's suffering combat friction already, so he must have been fired at. Even though, well, actually, how's that? Well, no, we'll just put it down to German troops. Well, it's good he's not suppressed. That's what matters. He got 1 suppression, nothing to worry about at the moment. Didn't take any casualties. Let's look around. There's just too many enemies in sight, and we're not able to kill them from this distance, and that is a problem. What? Just gonna look if he had any casualties. No. Now it's gonna be difficult to move here because these guys are probably gonna have as targets probably, so that's gonna make things awkward. Okay, so the stuff here and this one, yeah, this platoon is taking a hell of a beating. 3 casualties so far. Suppression 21, 4 casualties so far. Let's try and rally him. Yeah, I promise if I rally him, let's see if anybody else needs to be rallied in this formation first. Well, okay, I got units that are not in line of sight. So I'm gonna have to move some guys around here, I think. It's not gonna be gonna be pretty because I have a feeling there's a motorcycles unit in here, because that would make sense. It's always able to tell where I am, right? So precisely. Where was I? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But unfortunately, well, I look. I'm past it, so I'll look again. I'm a little bit worried that I've lost sight of these guys moving up here. In fact, I'm very worried about that. He fired at very long range. Wow. I'm surprised the opportunity fired, actually. Actually, I'm not sure he did. Yeah, I'm not sure he did. He still has somebody as a target, so he very likely could have. Yeah, these guys are still firing? I don't think so. They usually get cancelled. I think these guys will need to move. Yeah. Well, I don't think the Panzer Shreks? The wrong part of the war. Using my time machine to jump to 1943. The anti-tank rifles are probably not going to get any in the action. I'm not even sure they can actually damage that from anything other than one hex. So, well, he's unloaded them, and he's got the tanks. One of the tanks must have moved up here, I think. If I can spot it in a minute. It fired, so it's really quite surprising we can't see it. At least he moved it back. At least he moved it under concealment of the orchard here again. Although it's kind of difficult to do that. You'd have to move it into the orchard, actually. I can still see that, so I still got line of sight on it, which is helpful. I'm gonna have to look around again in a minute. I haven't been doing that very well. Okay, so we've lost sight of them. That means they've either slowed down or actually have stopped. No, they could be moving 1x still. They've either stopped or they're just moving 1 hex. There's also a possibility they moved in here. Wait a minute, that one reappeared when I looked around. Okay, that's good. Meaning that they've probably moved out of line of sight. They've probably moved into the field. Okay, well, we'll see. Smoke's sticking around just a little bit too long. Okay, well, we're starting to be able to see through it though. It's thinning. I have to check the ammo on the mortars because I'm using them up a lot. Okay, it's unlikely we would have lost line of sight, even if they moved in here. Because we have complete line of, well, I mean, line of sight's constant there, so I think they've just stopped. Although, if they moved into this area at 1 hex movement, then yeah, I mean the chances of seeing them it's very low. So they could still be moving, and in fact probably are. I doubt he'd stop. What I've observed of my opponent's playing style is that he likes to go beyond the attack, so you wouldn't stop. You'd more likely try to move up through these trees. There's a height 1 area here, which you could actually move behind, in theory. But that wouldn't help him too much. Yeah, I think he's moved up into here. At this distance, the height 1 would be enough to hide his movement. Or like hide a 1 hex movement, I think. So we've seen more. Where? Somewhere here. Oh, here. Okay, I think we're done. Yeah. Let's have a look at that log again. Oh yeah, and I had a squad that needed to be rallied, but I delayed that, so I gotta remember to look at that again. Yes, it didn't show up in the log even, so I don't even know how far away it was. Maybe I do. Whatever attacked this unit, 25 hexes. Wow. Seriously. It must have been firing he's probably firing the one of his howitzer at it then. Really? Okay, well that deserves actually watching that again. Now, it might have been 2 different things though. Yeah, let's watch that again. Yeah, it was definitely a year. But 2 things fired at him. That's my tank. Okay, well, so there's more than one thing that fired at him. I think there was a tank that was close by, because it looked like the shot came from somewhere around here, but we don't have line of sight on it right now. And I can see one tank there, being observed by another unit. But so if it was around here, it could entirely possible for him to have moved in here, and I wouldn't be able to see it. I think. Let's see. Yeah, line of sight's blocked that way. Yeah, so he could have moved it into the orchard, and I wouldn't be able to tell. Now, my problem with the tanks here is that the combat friction has slowed them down, so it's going to be difficult to maneuver as effectively as they did. They're not damaged, as far as I can tell. Yeah, they're not damaged, but combat friction halves your movement rate. So moving around in these wet conditions is going to be a little more difficult. Okay, well, let's just look around. I had a squad here that needed to be rallied. It may actually be, well, if I can rally him, I might move him back, because he's taken a lot of casualties now. He's at 6, and yeah, he's getting down to about half. Actually, all of them are. He's taken 3 casualties, so he's almost down to half. Yeah, this platoon is not in good shape. Anyway, looking around, I can only see the tank. Now it's worrying because I don't have line of sight through the smoke, so I don't know anything more than what I can, this short range view. So that's a bit worrying, I think. What are these guys? They're all routed. They might not be completely suppressed though. He's buttoned. Actually, I'm surprised he's buttoned. Okay, so he's not rallying them very much. He's just rallying. Because the thing of it is, if they're not in combat, if they're not fired at or actually fired anybody, actually not fired at, then they become ready. They don't stay buttoned forever. I'm not sure how he manages to do that. How he manages to do that. What do we have left? 3 enemies here. That's all I can see. So that's all that's left there. Okay. Yeah, as I said, I opened up Pandora's box, and according to the myth, that did not end well. Yeah. Now, this is one platoon here. I have not seen another platoon leader with these guys. Rifles. So, I'm not sure who the leader is of these rifles. I don't see anybody else around, and I've seen one platoon leader on this side. It's probably associated with this group that was moving up here. That's kind of odd. Only 2 platoon leaders? There's gotta be a third one around somewhere, I think. Um, hmm. Now, I think it's a good idea to move here. Let's zoom out. Don't really want to stay in one place for too long if I can avoid it. I'm really surprised he's left this tank here. Very surprised actually. Considering the infantry is all routed, which is what leads me to suspect they're not that deeply suppressed. Deeply or wow, what would be the correct phrase for that? Heavily, because suppression increases. So, I don't know. Yeah, they're all routed, so they're not very effective at spotting for this tank, unless he has moved something else around, which I think I need to find out. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is move this recon, this way. Let's look around some more. It's a hell of a lot of enemies. The problem is there's a tank up here. So that's tricky. There's 2 tanks, so I don't think there's any more than that. If there is, he hasn't shown them. So because he got 1 year, and there was 1 year that's probably been moved back into concealment. I haven't seen anything moving up on this side. I think I would have seen it by now. For now I'm going to assume there's only infantry moving up on this side. Yeah, I'm still outnumbered in tanks. The FT-18 is not as good as this one, which I think is actually classified as a tank destroyer. It's got, it's got a bigger gun on it. I think it's classified as a tank destroyer. I did look at the Belgian units before. When I started the scenario, when I started the battle, but I can't remember the details of it. I'm not going to bother looking now. The FT-17 is actually, well, in terms of armament, it's closer to my tanks, but I think its armor maybe quite. Its armor's not too bad for the time. Yeah, well, the 3018 is slightly better. We're not that far off though. As I mentioned, one of the things you have to get used to in playing the Germans is being outnumbered. So the way the enhanced mod works in terms of casting, they really did a good job of balancing it historically rather than to create fair battles. Gonna advance these up here, I think. Let's just look around some more. Can these move? They could move. I don't know. I'm actually hesitant to move this one. I might move him over here. Can he see the tank? No, he cannot see the tank. So I actually want to move these infantry up. So I think, damn it, I think the scouts have to move. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about that some more. No, these guys are definitely moving. This is a no-brainer. I'm actually thinking I'm going to move. need to get line of sight, better line of sight into this smoke area here. And that means I have to move into the stream. I don't have a choice. Okay. And I think these guys will continue to move up that side, and this infantry will continue to move towards this side here. Because I need to get people in here, and this is the problem. Well, see, now they're moving. These guys are still moving at 2x's, right? Anything around here that could help? Nope. Nope. The only thing I can do is move them. There's no height 1 here. The only thing I can do is move him across the road, perhaps. That might allow him to get a line of sight to there. Yeah, I might do that. So I think they'll continue moving towards the height 1 area. I don't know whether I want to move them forward or not. They're in cover, so if they continue to move up this way, then I'd be able to do a pretty good job of slowing them down. They're going to get pretty far back here, though, but if they move up that way, then I would probably start moving them forward. I mean, it's too late. There's no way they're going to get anywhere. So, but then if they move into these trees, I mean, I still have, I can still hit them. But the range is a bit long. That's the problem. So that's why I'm thinking moving them up. But I need to get the scouts up to the side. Just to get them closer, because the problem with the way 8.4 version works is like combat has to occur quite close, because if you're quite far away, you're not really hurting the enemy. You're just creating suppression more than you are damaging the unit. So it's really quite difficult to wear down an enemy when you're like this far away. Like these guys, in theory, could do a good job of wearing these guys down, but they've been worn down too, so, because it works both ways, obviously. Okay, so up here. And at this speed, there's no hope in hell of getting anywhere close to the Victory X's, so that's not really an objective anymore. Just trying to get closer without dying too much. How do you avoid doing that? Okay, so recon's moving there. There's a hex I cannot see. I can't see into that hex there. Let's move him here. Wow, but I can see it from there. That's not reliable, I think. Yeah, I need to be closer. So there could be something in here. Because I don't have anything that's close by they can see into that hex. So this is not reliable. And because he's now in the -2 area, he's not able to get. How the hell does that work? This is height -2, but it's a slope. Even in the random maps, it's kind of difficult to know how things came about. Now, yeah, so he's gonna be up here. That was costly because he's now moved very, very fast. Yeah. We won't be able to see anything until he gets there. At the speed these guys are moving, so they're gonna be there, there, and there. Now, they may move. They may move faster. Speed 6. Okay, it's telling me what their actual speed is, not what their movement rate is. Okay. Okay, now he's in here. He's blocked by his line of sight's blocked by the height 1 area. But they still have line of sight, so that's okay. And this way. Okay, and in here. Okay, line of sight is blocked here. And there. Okay, this is not working out. Let's zoom out, maybe give you a better idea what to do here. Okay, let's ignore that for the moment. Ah, moving to this area is so slow. Let's keep moving him up that way. Company that way. Now, I don't think there were any. The light mortar team was destroyed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, big picture is still what needs to be looked at, I think, but let's ignore it for the moment. Okay, so I don't really want to leave these guys here. Oh, this is ugly. Very, very ugly. Okay. It's now. There's 10 units that can see them. Some of them are a bit far away. Um, right, but 10 units, 10 enemies seen? Really? Um, so now we can move some units here. So that came from about here. Well, we're never going to get a shot in from this range, so we're going to have to get them closer. Um, the anti-tank rifles. We'll leave that one there for the moment. These probably cannot stay in this position. Well, if they move, they won't be able to fire. Although he has targets. Okay, there's 2 units in here. But you can actually see 4 units, so where's the other one? It's out of range. Oh, there. Right. That was probably a waste of a shot, because they're gonna run away. But, now, I really want to move these units, though, so, it's not healthy for them to stay here much longer. Uh, fire too many times, he's gonna not be able to move, so... Question is where to put them. This area is gonna get hit by artillery fire fairly quickly, so a lot of these, like at the end of this turn, so a lot of these units are gonna have issues. Because they're moving around, and some of them aren't even in very good cover while they're doing that. So, I mean, well, Pandora's box, remember? Yeah, let's move him this way. So he's already taken some shots, so it's because he has combat friction on him. Problem is, I don't know where to go. We'll do that. When in doubt, roll the dice. And this area is still not giving me good ideas. So delaying it didn't help. Okay, I need to find out whether the tank can see into that hex. And there's only one way to do that. Yes, it can. That is the answer to that question. Okay, well, no, I'm not going to try that yet. Didn't use up an opportunity fire. That's a good sign. Um, um, right, so if I move in there, it will definitely opportunity fire. Well, 80% chance of it. Maybe not definitely because it's buttoned. Um, and the problem is I don't know if there's any infantry around here. Well, a lot closer now, so I should be able to see that if... Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try rallying this guy, because I don't think I'm gonna need... Okay, you can see one enemy. Where? Okay, way over there. You can't even see these guys anymore. Okay, so... Yes, let's try a rally. Okay, dispersion's been reduced. Still not enough to move him. Okay, now he can move. Okay, then the sergeant's doing a good job of rallying that squad, so we're not even using up extra rally points. I'm gonna move him back. Yeah, well, he moved away, so because was here, I think. No, he started there. He's moved back here. So it could not be seen from that position. Okay, I think that's the infantry moved. Okay, I think my movement's done. I actually don't have anything to shoot at. I'm not going to fire from these units. Simply because they're pinned in, their suppression is so high that they're going to be quite difficult to hit. And I've moved already, so I mean 18% is not bad, but still. Looking for better shots than that. I mean, considering now I'm in line of sight of these guys down here, probably should hold off a little bit. They will probably rally, but there's no. So this will be their targets, but they're quite far away. Not really sure. Yeah, I think that'll do. Not really. I mean, I dived into this. I opened up Pandora's box, kind of dived in, without really knowing how I was gonna deal with it. But anyway, just making shit up as I go along as usual. It's all in good fun. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything I can. I'm not confident that I can move in here and he will not get a good shot at me, right? So it really depends on what he does. If he attacks that one, then I know it was the right thing to do. If because he would have his button state was not hindering him that much. Okay, I think that's it. So I'll just artillery next, I think. Some of these may want to move them instead. Actually, the tanks need to move. They really can't stay here. Oh, that's risky. Now I wonder if I move here. Yeah, let's try that. My line of sight's pretty restricted there. just so that I'm not in the same hex when the artillery fire lands. Really crowded in here. This is a big problem because there's going to be a lot of artillery fire in this area. Yeah. Okay, that's the tanks moved. Do I want to move him? Yeah. I think I want to move him across the road. Yeah. It's not helpful. He's gonna have to move further that way. And I think that might as well apply to this one as well, because that smoke's not going to clear within a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. So while we're out of line of sight, we may have been seen from over here though. Yeah, so not ideal. Yeah, there's no point in leaving them back there. They're not going to help at all. Yeah, I might move them up onto this area here so they can actually fire on either side of it. It seems like an idea. It'll take a few turns though. Probably not going to make it by the time I turn 15, but it's still an idea. Let's see. There's nothing you can do on this side unless I start moving up now. It's not going to get me anywhere. I mean, there's nothing to be achieved. If he's still moving them up this way, then it's a good position. But I mean, he's not going to get close enough for it to be a real fight down here. Not like it's happening up here on this side. Okay, well that's probably it. Should I move do I move the mortars? Well, this one's actually taken some hits, so maybe a good idea. They won't be able to fire, so I might as well move this one as well. Unfortunately, he's not in contact anymore. Yeah, so I'll keep one of them. I keep one of them in that position so it doesn't. I have one mortar that can be used. Is he in contact? Yes. The formation leader needs to be in contact with a 0 in order for artillery to be called in, and it's quite annoying when it's not. Are these actually firing? That one is. Okay, so that one is not useful. Might shift it. And these ones are available. Well, they routed, so they are probably going to... Well, I fired at them, so they're pinned now. They're probably going... If Sumi isn't able to rally them, they'll just run away. Okay, I'm actually gonna... how much... Because he's been using... Yeah, he's not got much left. Let's cancel it instead. So... don't really have a lot left. 24 there. Only 18 there. Yeah. Problem is I don't know where he's gonna move. There's a lot of possibilities here. He was there, and he moved it back to there, and then to there. I don't know. Can't predict it. So we'll cancel mortar fire for this turn. It's not... The situation is a bit unpredictable at the moment. I don't... I don't know if these guys will be in this position. I don't know if this infantry will still be around. If he can't rally them, then... Well, there's more than two possibilities. If he can rally them fully, which seems unlikely, he'll be able to move them wherever he wants. So then they're still going to move. If he can't rally them, they'll run. So they'll move probably in a straight line. That's a bit more predictable, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But they're going to move anyway. Or he can rally them. And move them, and rally them and not be able to move them, which is the only case where they would stay in that position. But there's just too much uncertainty, so I can't really waste ammo. We have a few turns left that might come in useful. Same thing here, I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of possibilities where he can move that. Okay, so they cannot see anybody there. That's actually pretty restricted. If he moves there, then I get a shot. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment. I don't want moving into the line of sight of another tank. Moving a tank into the line of sight of another tank at short range, it's very likely to result in a very good shot on you. And if you don't have a second tank to move in to handle the situation, then doesn't do anybody any good. Now, we'll see how this works out. I'm planning to move these guys up, but I don't want to move them. I need to get more strength into the area, because right now they're pretty outmatched. I think it's this one squad. The reason it took a lot of hits was because nobody else was there in line of sight to provide supporting fire when they fired at them. So that's a big price to pay. This doesn't look. Yeah. So you might take a shot at that with the tank. Unfortunately, they'll have to take it on the chin. You may not see them because they are buttoned. So that might work out. I don't know. In this area, we're moving up. Don't know. This is taking forever. They probably won't be able to get into position in time. They'll be moving when they'll be in position first, I think. So I'm not going to really have much chance of holding them up. And I think that's it. Yeah, let's check ranges. actually check to see whether these guys can see the tank yet. Probably not. Nope. Actually, he's probably in line of sight of the whatever fired at him the last time, so that's actually not a good thing. Let's see. 25x is the visibility, so it had to be there. So he's gonna have to move it to get another shot. That's 25x. I just realized now 25x is the absolute limit of the visibility. Yeah, which is why it's not showing up. But the other one was a lot closer. There was a tank fired at him as well. But I don't know what range it was at. That's the problem. If I did, then I could actually get I could set the range better on it, but so I'm gonna shorten that range back down to 10. Now there's enough infantry here that hopefully you always spot it. Don't know. But I moved, so there's and the enemy tank has moved as well, so it's not going to get the same opportunity. I'm just trying to. This will reduce the because he has to move the artillery piece that he used, whatever it was. I don't know. It might have been the howitzer that he fired at it. That can work because you can induce suppression. I don't know if howitzers carry anti-tank armor-piercing rounds, but they could. If he's firing into the hex, he can actually. Just induce some suppression in it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn